something came across my desk this morning. It was somebody talking to me about how sometimes musicians or bands are charged to perform at certain events. I know it sounds ludicrous, but I've seen it myself. This person is in a band that they gig a lot in New Orleans, and he's seen it at 4 different places. He named them, but he's like, please don't include my name of the 4 places, and I don't wish to. But it's something that I'm going to eventually talk about, but it would be kind of centered around New Orleans because that's the experience that I've had. Is there anything like that you've ever run into out here? And this would be not just a venue per se, like a bar or a music hall. My particular experience was at a convention, and it was a music-based convention, music industry-based convention. Mm-hmm. I've seen promoters that, I thought we were on the same page, but they would have talent shows. They were talent scouts, but they would have talent shows just to be able to make it easy for them to scout, and they would charge the bands as well as whatever the door was, and they're taking both parts. So I was wondering, just in any context, have you run into that in your professional career?
I haven't seen it at venues specifically. I know a lot of venues that kind of do this thing where it's like, we'll give you the room. The venue is yours. Uh-huh. We're not going to pay you, but you sell your own tickets, and whatever you do, you do.
Okay,
right?
so you're working for the door.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
So I've seen that. Now I have heard of people paying to go on tour. Like these Nashville acts that'll go on tour, and you got some young up and comer that wants to go on tour with the Rascal Flatts or whatever, like as far as an example, and and they'll go pay the agent for that band and whatever amount of money to let them open up for them on tour. I've seen that happen a lot.
Yeah, I've been involved.
Yeah. I think that's probably more normal than you would think, especially for like an opener. But no, as far as now, I do know that we've done, and I've done it before, like in a previous band, like LAFF, Louisiana Fairs and Festivals.
Okay.
They put on a big convention every year, and in order to have a chance to perform at this convention, which is basically like, what you're doing at this convention is you're performing in front of the people that run all these fairs and festivals in Louisiana.
Right, for the chance to...
And they like you, they book you for the fair.
Like 10 events or whatever.
Right. Yeah. And so in order to be part of that, you have to pay to be a member of LAFF, right? Which is not a whole lot of money. So I have seen that. So there's probably stuff like that. But as far as like going to a venue and say, I'm going to give you $1,000 to let me play here, not me. I wouldn't do it. So.
Well, that was going to be my next question. I'm sure we all feel the same way about it, but some people would consider it based on the opportunity. They might be on the fence about it at the very least.
But it did used to go on, even in New Orleans, like if you'd have like I won't name any names, but let's say a big band comes to House of Blues and you got a band that you feel like would be a good opener. I've seen people like go up to, promoters and say, hey, I'll give you money to let me open up for X, right, the night he plays here.
As the third band.
As the third band, right?
Yeah. There's no shame in it. It's a shame that it exists, but there's no shame in someone wanting success that.
Well, it's also no different than advertising yourself online, right? Paying to boost a post for $500.
It's marketing dollars.
Yeah, it's like instead of paying for this Facebook post, I'll give $500 to this talent coordinator and go open up for Gary Clark Jr. So I don't see anything particularly wrong with that aspect of it, but yeah, I think in many ways you've got to pay to play, so.
Well, I'm glad I asked you that question though, because I was just going to tear it apart in an article upcoming, but
I
can see the other side of the fence.
But if you gave me like a famous, again, I don't want to name any venues because I don't want to shun anyone. But if you pick a venue and you think this is a venue with a lot of clout, and they expect a band to pay them to play there, to me that ain't happening. Not saying it doesn't exist, but I think that's pretty weird. So I wouldn't be part of that. But,
I don't think that's a good faith practice to say.
Yes, no. I'm all about, I talked to a buddy of mine about this last 2 weekends ago, who's trying to put on shows in New Orleans, and he was asking me about door deals versus guarantees and all this stuff, and my personal philosophy behind it is it happens in different ways, and some people are cool with different things, and that's all well and good, but To me, the shows always work better if both parties have skin in the game. You know,
He's a promoter, you said?
he's a venue owner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But if both parties have something to lose and something to gain, then I think it works better. Because if you're guaranteeing me dollars, versus a door or versus some ticket sales or something, then that means that you're on the hook for some of this. So you're going to help me promote it. And,
absolutely.
All that stuff. But if it's just like, hey, I'm going to pay you the door or you get all the tickets, then you don't really care. It's just, as long as people are in here buying drinks or whatever, So I think it's, I think both parties need to have something to gain and something to lose,
Yeah. I'm trying to remember the exact wording, but I think the general premise behind a business deal, a good business deal, is where both parties walk away feeling like they gained something from the transaction.
Yeah.
And I can't feel that way about an artist that pays to play.
Yeah.
Even if it's not his livelihood. I think the talent is the draw, and the draw shouldn't have to pay. Because it's the draw, it's generating something by just simply being the talent. You know what I'm saying?
And maybe it's some kind of long-term philosophy or plan for that particular artist. I don't know. I wouldn't judge him on it, but I couldn't see that being part of my 5-year plan.
Successfully. So earlier I had mentioned a lot of places that you had played. And so you've played both venues and festivals, both different atmospheres completely. Of the amalgamation of all of these things, what's your favorite? Is it a small room? Is it a big field during the day? What's your favorite?
Man, festivals are hard to beat. It's built-in crowds. It's people excited to hear music. They're there for that atmosphere. The big music venue things, I also love Grouse from Varsity. Those things are awesome as well because it's ticket sale events. So people that came, bought tickets, they wanted to be there. It's engaged crowds.
Sure.
The thing that I hate, the thing I like the least is, whenever you are, for lack of better terms, like background music, right? It's like, hey, I got this restaurant and we have live music on Wednesdays. Y'all want to come do an acoustic show? But hey, turn it down a lot because I want my patrons to be like blown out by all this music.
Is that a situation that you're in sometimes with the acoustic performances?
Rarely. I try to figure out ways to not do those type of gigs, but every once in a while it happens. Yeah.
Does the instance pair with certain places, certain atmospheres, or
there's certain venues that that's just part of the deal.
I would guess that they attract a certain customer base, and those customers.
Yeah, and they want some music going on while they're talking, but they're not there to see you, right?
Yeah.
That's just part of the ambiance of this place that we are. So those a lot less interesting gigs for me. Just when you get the videos and say, hey, I took a video of y'all doing this song last night. And all you hear is people talking in the background.
There's nights where, as an acoustic duo, you're struggling to even hear yourself.
Yeah.
And it takes everything in me to not just say, can everybody just shut?
Yeah.
Which I kind of have. Occasionally.
Well, keep a megaphone for your last show. Tell them how you really feel. There's certain people like that. Like my wife can go to sleep with the TV on, or somebody can put music on while they're studying or something. I'm just the complete opposite. I can't. If there's music playing, I got 50 questions about it. I want to know what comes next. I never heard it before, and it sounds like this, and I wonder if this guy's in that band, or I can't do it. But I guess there's some people that are of the school of music is life, and then there's everybody else.
Sometimes